shorter and to the point, so we might finish a little early and have some extra time for questions. Just a little bit about myself. I have a master's degree in elementary education from the University of Michigan, a bachelor's degree in English from Allegheny College. So writing and reading and ELA are really that's what I'm most passionate about. This is my 7th year teaching. I've been at Pat and Gill every year. When I first started teaching, I was split with Dr. Kimmy and I actually taught 2 years together, and I would teach in the afternoon, she would teach in the mornings. And then in the mornings, I would teach 6th and 7th grade at Forsyth Middle School. So that was a really unique experience because I can see just the trajectory and the progression of all the different grades and how they all kind of piece together and are building on the same skills. So I was grateful for that. Just a couple interesting facts about me. I went to Thurston, Clegg, and Huron, all in Ann Arbor Public Schools. My mom taught at Pat and Gill for about 15 years, and she just retired. She finished over at Wines Elementary. And then some of my hobbies are playing sports, watching sports, and I have 2 kids, so we love going to new parks every weekend and just spending time outside and get through the days. They are 2 and 1 years old, so they are taking up all my time. A little bit about classroom management. At Pat and Gill, we use responsive classroom. It's a behavioral management technique. We use a process of community building activities like morning meeting every day. We have like a closing circle. We have different classroom jobs. All of these things kind of come together to help build a cohesive classroom community. So we also focus a lot on social emotional learning, how we can regulate our feelings, our emotions, how we can handle conflicts with peers when they arise. So I think that's been a really positive part of responsive classroom is that peer-to-peer. To start the year, our class created a classroom agreement, kind of like a classroom constitution. And there was about 5 groups, and the groups all worked together to talk about and brainstorm the ideas that they thought were important in building a positive classroom community, what kind of practices from their peers, from me, will help them have the best learning day every day, right? So then I looked at everyone's kind of posters. The students went around and put check marks and stars by all the ideas that the other groups had, and I kind of gathered those together. And you can see our class agreement up there. Kind of the main ideas are being kind, being respectful, being brave, staying safe, and then I'd love to have fun, so I really want everybody to know if we work hard, we'll play hard. We'll celebrate our successes, we'll celebrate our hard work, but we gotta work hard to then get those rewards and fun times. Just to tell you a little bit about what we'll cover in language arts this year, we start by launching a reader's workshop and thinking about what are strong reading habits. So that kind of takes the first couple of weeks, how we're gonna behave as readers day to day. And then we are gonna move into analyzing characters unit. And we read a book called Amal Unbound. And it's loosely based on Malala. And so it takes place in Pakistan. And it's about a girl who is not allowed to continue her education and kind of how she fights back to regain that power, that control over her own life. After the analyzing characters unit, we have an analytic reading unit, an informational text unit, historical fiction, and then just trying to show all the genres. We'll have lots of different interactive read-alouds that kind of cover different topics and different genres. This year we're moving to a new word study program. It's called Morpheme Magic. It's a research and evidence-based program focused on words and meanings, prefixes, suffixes, base words, how we can manipulate words and endings and beginnings of words to really to then be able to spell them right and use them in the correct ways. I think with Words Their Way, which was our last word study curriculum, I'm already really excited about the new curriculum because it's just so much more engaging for the students, and they take a lot more ownership over it. In Words Their Way, they'd be cutting out vocabulary words and just kind of wasting a lot of time cutting and gluing and sorting. This is a lot more meaningful and purposeful. So word study, we have word study every day. It's part of our ELA block, and it's about 20 to 30 minutes. And so I'm still learning a little bit about it too, but I'm excited for it. For math, our first unit covers place value, multi-digit addition and subtraction with estimating and rounding. And what I've noticed is that really it just is building on everything they did in third grade within those topics. Some other key important topics that we'll cover are obviously multiplication facts, and then using those facts to become better with extended facts. So you know 5 times 5, but how can we use that to solve 5 times 500? We work with fractions and decimals, multi-digit multiplication, fractions and mixed number computations, and then we do some measurement and conversions. There's also some geometry with different shapes and categorizing shapes, and also angles, things like that. And then division and multi-step word problems. That's really the most challenging part of fourth grade, is the multi-step problems. For Writer's Workshop, we start by writing a personal narrative. Students have started to think about a meaningful experience or moment in their life, and how we can take like a small moment but really expand on it and turn it into a 5, 6, 7 paragraph story about an important moment in everybody's lives. After we write our personal narratives, we go to persuasive writing, and then informational writing will be our last writing unit of the year. Poetry, we have a poetry anthology that we kind of work on throughout the year, but we haven't started that just yet. For science, we have 4 main science units. Let It Rip is focused on energy and how it can be transferred and the different forms of and types of energy. Miss Dawson teaches this through Project Lead the Way, and we actually start Project Lead the Way tomorrow. Built for Survival, students explore plants and animal systems and the human eye. Surfs Up teaches students how we transmit information through waves. And then the Big Blue Marble is how does the earth change over time. For social studies, we started with kind of thinking about a constitution and why those agreements are important for a community or a group of people, what that means for our school, for our community. And then the first unit we're going to go into is Foundations in Social Studies, which is kind of like what are the different parts of social studies, history, geography, political science, economics. So it's kind of an introduction to each one of those fields, I guess you could say. And then there's more like the human geography, that's really our, and the United States in spatial terms, that'll be our first big unit. And then, so there's like a main unit for each of those different as parts, foundations of social studies. This is just some information for you. If you ever need, we got our computers today. Students won't take them home until we're doing the NWA test this week, and then the next week is math. So after math, students will be allowed to take their computers home. If students are having a hard time bringing them back every day, let's talk about a plan to make sure they come back, or maybe. And then, I don't have this on here, but I want everybody to know that every day we write our planners. We take a note about what was taught or learned in each subject, and